Do we have demos? No demos?
I think still not.
It's kind of sad because apparently there was an awesome demo to be done 2 weeks ago. I'm still waiting.
Yes, actually, me too. I pinged the culprits separately, but I'm not sure where they are.
Okay, well, the cool demos will take some time to make and rehearse and everything. And maybe 2 weeks ago it was a cool idea, and at some point it will be a cool demo. So no demos for the topics. If anyone has questions, topics, subjects, they can use them. We'll talk about that. Status. Orchard 1. Orchard 1, Babex not here. But look at that. We almost have a referral of exception with all these commits in the client. So when was last time? 23 minutes here. Let me check out this one. I will just focus on one 10x and then. Okay, and we have a lot of things. We have all these things have been merged. So upgrading an Hibernate to 5.5.2. So the orange one is dev and the yellow one is 1.10x. Date, you get packages, compilation workflow, food test, setup, and code generation. Publish and publish menu items in the menu editor. We've mentioned this feature by the past. Updating Npgsql and fixing setup. It looks so familiar because Mike made a similar PR with Internet Core. That's funny. Setting fail fast to false in SpecFlow, media processing HTML filter, which is a new feature. This one improved, so it's parsing the image tags, and if you have the correct arguments in it, then it will generate the image with the filter directly. So you don't have to create filters to be able to filter, to use filters in images. You can do it inline in your HTML. And this code will read your images and look for tags, and then apply them. How does it look for tags? Something like this.
I thought that processing HTML with regex is like a sin.
For you, yes, but for us, it's fine. Yes and no. If it's yes and no. If it's simple like this, it will work. It's our own HTML. Something we could do is add a timeout to it for security reasons. But we already do that to remove space. So it's just, yeah. So yes and no. I used to be super strict about it, but not anymore. And it's a feature. So I assume if you don't like it, you can do it or not anybody with their issues. For security, we could have a. I think there is a timeout even for the net framework for that thing. Might be an option to add. Maybe we'll see that.
Yeah, that would be important here.
What else? So this was done on the dev branch, so the feature. This was fixing that creating an dynamic progress SpecFlow. Compile workflow, that's the same thing. Just a different branch. Which branch want to next to dev. See multiplication types. Okay. Simplifying link fleet fiber validation. Yeah, I'm surprised it's from Renovate because I think it's material we worked that. Yet, yeah, now in the links you can have in the link fields you can have the hash if you want to create links to internal pages. Merge, fix container admin navigation, Benedict said there was a bug. And we reviewed the clearance, so it was fine. And then finally merged one connects into that. So everything is up to date, I believe. There should be a reviews soon enough. Good job, Benedict. Send the bill to Zoltan. He will pay for it. Orchard Core. Third. Here, so I will check out name. Third. Here. Layers enhancements. Should I click on it?
Some of these changes were reverted. The main idea here was when you're adding a widget through the design tab, before it defaulted to the first layer. And with this, the main change is that now you have to select a layer, and also you have to provide a title for your layer, because it really doesn't make sense to default the layer and not ask the user to select one, because it's confusing, especially if it's your first time. You go and you just created it and you don't know what happened, but you actually had this layer selected. So now we explicitly select the layer, and then the title field is also required now. Before it wasn't optional. Now it's required, which kind of makes sense because you want to understand what that widget is, title of that widget internally for the admin. So that's really the main change here.
You keep that.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did you keep this code?
Yes.
It works. It's weird. So when is it used then?
Which one? The prefix?
Yeah, the prefix with the layer metadata value.
Yeah, I honestly just wanted it to work. I didn't dig in much because to me it's really weird to put this prefix in here and use the prefix all over. But the problem that I noticed, because after we removed it, when you save any content during on the update, it's gonna come back and it's gonna say that zone and position are missing. So it's validating. I think we can probably improve the way how we handle layers, but I just don't have the time to even look or dig into it.
But I feel like something will be broken. I would not have added that if it wasn't necessary. The fact that it's removed now.
That's we kept it. We brought it back, so you'll see in the
Okay,
reverted PR.
These changes in text, be careful because yeah, they are nicer, like for the year or whatever, but we are losing the text here, which was translated in lots of languages for a long time now.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was reverted accidentally. I didn't revert that line because I think it's weird to have that in the title on the label. It's the only place in Orchard where we have this long of a title for the label. So the layer should be in place, and then we have a hint at the bottom where it say the layer controls the visibility of the widget. It just fits better in Orchard, but unfortunately, I reverted it accidentally. I think I will have another PR to bring it back. I think it should say layer. I think it's better.
It's better, but it's a breaking change. So it will show up in English, but every other language, they will have to retranslate it. That's better, but that's breaking. Some people will see layer in English, and before they had a less nicer usage in their language. It's kind of sad. Fixes wrong null-conditional operator usage. Has children, because it can be negative.
Because that second condition, it's either null.
I see.
Or like it has to be a 0. Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
It's pattern matching in this case. Okay. Is it greater than 0? If it's null, then not. Okay. So, well, still, I mean, because it's not, then it will be, it's null, so that's fine. It has children. But null is not greater than 0. But it is not 0. It's stupid.
Yeah, right.
Oh boy. I will create my own language and then remove all these things. C minus, C sharp minus, less C sharp. Support for the time was merged, which means you all have the SDK 9.0 now. I believe this is the only thing that is different from 8 to 9 because this method was removed. This constructor was removed. You have to call this explicitly. Otherwise, everything is the same. Improve Audit Trails views. Boom. Yeah, it's nicer, but everyone will be screwed because they don't have a translation. So they will all see the English stuff instead of their language until the next version when they realize, someone has to update the translation.
You know, the problem with this is that in the past, I'm a contributor here at Orchard, and I did not understand what the labels meant. I had a user ID and another user ID in the same page, and I had no idea which user ID I'm talking about. So here, like user ID and username are now triggered by, so we know who triggered that event, and that's who triggered that user ID. Like if you're looking, for example, at a user event, right? Like you creating, so user X creates a user B, right? You will now be able to tell that user A triggered this event, and then user B was created. So it just makes more sense. I understand it's going to break languages, but I mean, should that stop us from improving Orchard? I mean,
Yes, sometimes yes. Like we do that for code, right? Like, oh, we don't change that because we know it's better, but we don't do it because it will break the code. And we should have a strategy for languages. So it's funny because last time I wanted to show languages, like I took Spanish, and all the UI was still in English. Like there was one title in Spanish. I'm pretty sure we have a lot of coverage of Spanish, but I was looking at the main page and it was all English. Just the notification was in Spanish. So I'm wondering if broke something at some point, or some strings are missing, or we change some string. I don't know, but that's weird. It used to be that you would open the screen and everything would be translated correctly. Maybe you should have stats to follow up on how much translations we have for each language and see if we can call people to help. Or could
do
we
we
at
have
least
some sort of integration with like a Google Translate or something where
there
we
is,
can take these phrases?
but someone has to
But
go in crowding and says this field translated to the link Google Translate. So that will be something. So something we could do also is with the PO extractor, maybe there is a way, or maybe with crowding, there is a way to find the delta for each release, like all the new strings that to list them. So people could say, oh, these are the thing we need to do on the crowding to update it. For this version.
Crowding has something like that. So there's some machine translation help, but still a person needs to check and say okay. But in any case, we should pretty much consider translated text changes as breaking changes.
If we could, right? But then you could also say a new string. Well, it's hard because a new string is also empty in all the languages. Changing a string is like almost like a new string.
Well, a new string is like a new feature, so I wouldn't consider that breaking. It doesn't break
It's hard
any
to say.
existing.
Like, yes, but existing. What is broken when you have the English string instead of the French string? This is like you have a page with 10 labels. They are all in your language. And then we add a new string and it's not translated. So in the middle of these 10 labels, there is a new one, which is in English now. Isn't it the same as saying you had 10 labels and now there is 9 still in your language, but one of them is now in English? So is the issue be that you could see it in French and now you are seeing in English, or the issue is that there is one label that is in English? It's hard to say it's breaking.
For the French translation, that is a breaking change. For the Swedish, that doesn't matter.
in some code bases, when you add some code, there is a robot that will tell you that you regressed in code coverage, or you were 80% code coverage, now you are 79, so you can't ship it, you have to fix it. Maybe eventually we should have the same thing in the translations. We can't ship if we don't have 80% on this file, or like, and if we regress too much, like, okay, you need somewhere before shipping. Well, this thing also, is that breaking? Maybe it's breaking. I believe it's breaking. Antoine maybe knows. Changing the case. It's nicer, but it's a breaking change. Maybe it's not necessary.
Yeah, I think it is breaking because the case sensitive, the ID values.
See, some people might be bothered, like, hey, I can't even see translation now because of case in English. Or maybe we should have fallbacks or stuff like, or obsolete, or like maybe an attribute on the T that says, if you can't find that, then try to look for that. But the pure extractor will not read it. I don't know, something, I don't know. I've metal, I don't know, it's too hard. Maybe we don't care. That was like fixing mistakes. So now I think it will still work, right? Or was it an issue? Was it the point I could see?
You know what? I don't know if it was an issue, but I had a lot of issues, and when I was looking, I saw that. I'm like,
I think it was working because on my side it was working. But it's possible that the semantic versioning here, because after the number it's alphanumeric, maybe this was higher than the version you have, but it will have told you, like, you don't have the correct SDK. So this should work. But because of latest major, it should just pick up whatever version you have that is better than that. But maybe that, the one that you would have, was not better than that. I don't know, that's good. But yeah, this is better. But I'm wondering if it was an issue in the aspect. Maybe. You don't have any more issues. Everything is solved, so that's good. Fixing query content items, query validation. So this is gone completely. What was it? Can return content items versus return content items. That's weird. Yeah. Does it return content? There is a checkbox, so that's weird that we also have can. Correlation and redirect deployment plans steps after creating plan. Okay. My stuff. Fix Elasticsearch document index. It's a lot of code, but maybe factoring. Internal. Okay, good job. Internal. Nobody can use that, just us. And we can change as much as we want. So it's not public. Okay, this was moved. 2,500. Magic number.
Except up to 5,000. But if the data is too long, it might still hit another limit. So batching with 2,500 is safer than not batching at all.
GraphQL content items status filter. Well, now we are the master of GraphQL, so we trust you. Well, we don't need to say equals true now. Or this is all.
We never did.
See SQL? Yeah, beautiful. SQL.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Now I have doubts.
Oh yeah, I'm positive. Yeah, I've tested it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't trust SQL. I don't trust SQL. The only ambiguity is that when you read q.latest, you're like, is it a Boolean? When you do equals true, you're, oh, okay, latest is a Boolean, you are checking the true. Because if it was written like is latest, as latest, something like that, like that makes it obvious that it's a Boolean, but because it's latest, it's not obvious. Probably why someone like me will have written equals true or something like that. That's published equals true, yeah. But
I
okay.
actually think I wrote that line of code before because I didn't think your SQL would do that. But then I tested it. I'm like, yeah.
If you don't know, like, okay, let's take no risk and let's chance him. Okay, good. Revert layers enhancement, and then revert the revert layers enhancement at some point, or some of the things.
No, this is the one that I reverted, but I kept on some of the stuff.
Yeah, you see, because of the for, then the property name, that's why maybe the prefix is there when you're buying the thing. So that's why I feel
yeah,
like
this is a strange one to me, honestly, because I think we should be able, in the handler, we should be able to say, don't apply this unless it's for like widget stereotype. So you should be able to do it without having to add. It's kind of odd for me to have like the way how it's implemented. Maybe it's just a very, very old implementation. I don't know. I didn't really spend time to look into it.
One of the first features, definitely. And we did multiple iterations on the prefix. And because we are implementing flows and backbounds and made it very complicated, but it works beautifully. So that's why I'm like,
it works for sure.
So many, what's happening? So many commits. What happened? What did we miss? Just 2 days. Configure Renovate. I always feel like there's a bug somewhere. Configure Renovate. It's working. So many PRs. At some point,
yeah, most of those are because of that.
Take match for template to size. Match all. Oh, Elasticsearch. Okay. Size, and size. It's just documentation. Okay. Fix Elasticsearch crashing. This site is not configured. So many people working on Elasticsearch. Exception.
A lot of commits went into Elasticsearch this week, actually.
Oh.
Sorry?
Oh, I didn't understand it at first.
Yeah, I just said that a lot of work went into Elasticsearch this week.
Yeah, I'm guessing because of that last update that I pushed, which is visual library. So we could, I'm expecting to see bugs.
I see. It's not that it broke, but yeah, there might be bugs and people find them because they use it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's great.
At least a couple and then we fix them.
Like, it's not like, oh, we shipped, oh, now we are discovering the bug. Yeah. No. You remember what I told you, like our preview is the main branch. So if you want people to test a feature, let's merge it. Or even our preview is the release, like people don't test until it's released. But that's great that we are getting the fix.
Yeah.
Can track. No more consent, it's done. Let's forget about consent.
Not for the 2-factor.
Okay.
For the 2-factor, I don't think it could be there.
You contributor. This one isn't me, so it was broken because here when I was getting the stream, we were pointing back to the beginning to be able to read the stream. But which was because this thing was not, when it was decoded stream, was not setting to 0, and other things required that. So now it's by default in this code. When we return a string from a base64 string, the string will be at the beginning, so we can read it, because that's the goal. And a test, beautiful and read. Then Mike fixed the name here, DecodeToStream, not DecodedToStream. Select. Then Renovate, updating Renovate.
Yeah, it can actually update its configs. So if the schema of the config changes, it can update it itself.
As long as we approve the changes. That's fine.
Oh yeah, so all of these go through pull requests.
Otherwise, we are screwed by AI and stuff. Contributor maps. Okay. Oh, it's renovate. Oh boy, this bot. Can we silence the bot?
No, this was necessary because we were like 3 months out of date on every dependency.
But can it group the updates? Like the
yes, yes, and they are actually grouped.
Well, can we make bigger groups?
Well, we can, of course, but I don't think we want to update many unrelated dependencies in a single pull request.
Yes, we won't, because we don't want this noise and all these PRs and all these builds, because yes, if there is an update of a minor version, then we'll accept it if it passes the build.
Well, yeah, but
that's what we're doing before.
Do need those builds, and hopefully we'll have a lot more tests.
I mean, yeah, it's building
in the near future.
It's just that instead of having 10 PRs to update the version, let's get one, and if it's green, because it will be green most of the time, then that's it.
Yeah, but it's actually green because it's not testing enough. But it's much easier to test out all of these one by one, and then you don't have to test everything for a single pull request.
So I think the reason why you have so much noise here is because we're so much behind. But I think once it runs normally, we might see a 1, 2, maybe 3 PRs on a weekly basis. So it shouldn't be that much of a noise.
Maybe. Yeah, I still understand the not testing and testing when we have, like, let's take these 3 of them here. MVC 454, okay? SDK 17.12.0, OpenXML 3.2.0. What's the difference between having 3 PRs, and I could go to 10, and a single PR with all these versions updated? The same test will be executed. It will be green in one build, and there is 1 PR, 1 email, 1 squash merge.
And
yeah, it might be beneficial to have minor, like you can put all the minors in one. Who cares, a minor? But if it's a major, it's better to group it. Like if we, for example, GraphQL released another major version, we don't want it to be involved or included into a PR that has others, because we want to separate these two. We want to be able to work on the majors ourselves.
If that's possible.
So I think if it's a minor, it's okay to have everything in one PR if it's a minor update. But if it's a major, then maybe grouping is better.
Yeah, so here in this case, there is a major, yeah? And I think DependencyBot was not too, it was in the major, but we didn't have any, okay? So yeah, just saying, what's here, NPR.
Well, those are 3 very different features that a reviewer needs to at least understand what's happening there, what's changing there, and also ideally test. So for those 3 PRs, I actually tested all 3 things. I tested Mini Profiler, I tested test execution, and I don't know how I tested OpenXML. I think that was with search or something like that, media search. But if you have a bunch of those, a pull request will be intimidating. And
but what do you mean testing? You did some manual testing?
Yes. Yes.
Why would you do that?
I don't want to merge breaking things, or at least minimize.
Good, you will never stop because there will be updates every week. You will and let's take phone numbers. Do you test phone numbers every time they ship? They ship every day.
They don't ship every day, but I did test that as well. Yes, we should test it. We shouldn't assume that they just keep on working.
I understand. They don't ship every day. Let me fix it. Yeah,
but you also want to trust, if you're using an external library, you kind of want to trust that they have
the semantic versioning.
And you want to make sure that they're doing their own testing before they release a new version. It doesn't make sense to replicate someone else's code just so we can make sure we have tests for external libraries.
By testing, I mean manual testing. So make sure that how we use it still works. Ideally, we should have automated tests for that as well. But we don't yet.
So one thing we could do is we will accept. So it could be like go nuclear and say there is an update to, I don't know, lib phone numbers. Okay, and we use it in a field. Let's make one functional test and say we accept this update when there is at least one test that you would have done manually to check that the feature is working in a minimal way. It's just 2 links to add, 1 assert, and then we will assume that we can merge the next updates automatically.
Ideally, we would have that, yes. By the way, this only opens pull requests once every week, so there are so many pull requests because we didn't have anything.
But it's one every week for each of them. I'm afraid we have 7 per week and 7. So it's my concern.
We'll see. It's one pull request for everything that was actually updated. We have dependencies being updated every week, but we surely don't have the same dependency updated every week, except for the AWS package, because that's crazy.
Yeah, these ones they use the NuGet as their CI. It's crazy. Every commit they are running. And we use AWS, yes, we have it. Okay, we'll see. Or we do one meeting on a Tuesday where everyone will be tasked with creating one functional test for one of the packages. And we take the first 10 minutes to show how to create one functional test, and we just do functional tests, 3 hours, and you have 10, and be done with that. Because that's very easy. And that will save us some time over time, and also make us confident that the features are not broken.
Well, I actually added a lot of functional tests a while ago, but nobody really wanted to take it because I don't think it's actually easy to create functional tests if you don't do a lot of implicit assertions, like on the log or on the HTML output or some things like that. But what I did covers that. But in the current way with Cypress, I personally wouldn't touch it at all. It's just wasted effort.
You will see. I will show you, and then we'll change our mind.
I'm sure I won't. I've been working on this for 4 years.
That's Cypress. Populate template field on Elasticsearch recipe. Oh, that's not the same.
No, it's not the same, and that's a bug.
What is that? Origin is to 1.
That one I also fixed the same thing in the release. We backported it in case we need to release 2.1 because the Elastic query doesn't work in 2.1.
The old code.
Correct. The old code, the one in production now, it doesn't really.
But was it a bug before 2.0 to 1?
I think it was a bug in 2.0. starting from 2.0, I believe. This is when this was changed.
Okay.
So 2.0, 2.1 is a bug. And it's fixed in 3.0 and also 2.1 in case we release a patch.
Okay. If we
We'll
decide to
also
release a
release
patch,
that.
at least we get this fix also.
Correct.
Cleanup, GraphQL localization. Okay, just refactoring space. Fix Elasticsearch row query search.
This one after was a bug. Was another bug reported when we query the from our string. It wasn't serializing properly. So now that was fixed too.
And why
It's just another,
please?
because it's really not needed, because there's already a function. I mean, the other function that already exists it should have been obsoleted when I merged the other one, but I paid attention to it after as I was doing this. So we added this internal method here that allow you to just provide any elastic query, right, from a string, and then we'll just query
Do you want to
directly.
use escaping for that, just in case you could mess up with an index name and a UI? Can you add dots in an index name? Can you add slashes in your index name? Can you add query strings in an index name?
No, because it doesn't even allow you to create it. I think that full index name, I actually think it calculate or removes the bad characters before.
That's great, which means that now if you encode it, it won't change it. That's great. So you could still encode it just for safety, in case one day we accept something. But in a future PR, that would be careful when we build URLs, file names, everything from user input, then it has to be encoded.
I don't think it's this is not a, well, maybe.
It is user provided. This is the index name. So
yeah. No, I see what you're saying, but that get full index, that one itself
that might lead to something.
sanitizes.
Okay, but then we need to be sure that get full index does that. Okay. That's why we have custom types, like localization, like localized or what else? All the things that are HTML content, things that return something that tells you, yes, this is either encoded or on purpose safe at least. So then there is no such thing as a part of the UI. Maybe there is such thing. Okay. It's bug. Update USDK. This is the build of the day, I'm sure. Like they increment this number during the day, and this is for the week. MailKit and MimeKit packages. Okay. In identity. Oh no, there is more grouping now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's identity, but why? They are not even related, are they? Do they have?
They are.
Open ID
Yes.
and open ID. Okay.
Yes, they all use the same dependencies. So if we update just one of them, there will be an accidental downgrade of the dependency package, and NuGet will complain.
Okay. Date MailKit. View, it's working. See, decoded, blah blah blah. All good. Topics, questions. Yes. Translations. This one, interestingly, I saw something related. I believe they are not supported in SQL. I believe they are new thing. I don't know. When were these added?
These were added in .NET 6, I believe.
Oh, they're old.
Yeah, so I think .NET 6, yes, SQL supports minimum of .NET 6, I believe. So if they're not supported,
maybe they are supported.
Should support them.
Maybe they are. Maybe they are because when I worked on that time, it was after that, I think. Nope, there is no such thing. So it's not supported in SQL. And what is it doing? I would not change something like this if it's not adding something. In this case, I don't think it's adding anything. It's just, oh, let's use a new, more adapted type, but this one fits very well. It's just that end time, and we are fine with that. Yes, it's better, but we are fine with that. It's just, I believe, a breaking change that we need. It's just one thing that we break for no reason. It's better, but there is no reason. Well, better, it's different, it's more accurate, but it's not better. This will work just fine. So I don't know when we want to do something like this, because even in terms of
because I think
serialization,
this will break everyone, right?
even if
Anybody that's
SQL
using those
supported that,
fields.
even if SQL supported that, probably either it will bind it to a datetime and then, well, it will not change anything, but maybe it will use a custom type in SQL Server, and then we will break the storage, we will break the JSON, we will break the compilation. So that's a hard thing to do. There is no reason to do that. If a time feed works with an internal time span, then okay. It's hard. Oh, we need a big, nice migration in terms of code, in terms of data, to be sure it's not breaking. And even when we are sure it's not breaking, then it breaks. Because we didn't think about all the things. So yes, 6 years ago, we should have done that, but 10 years ago. But it's interesting that it's working. And the custom converter, okay. Because, yes, system maybe supports it, or this is just to have the same format in as the current JSON, such that it doesn't break. That's probably the case. Oh, you see, look, even that, right? So that shows this is a new serialization of JSON. This is the old one. So it's, yeah, maybe it's backward compatible, meaning if it can read that, but that's, I don't know. Yeah, too much of a breaking change. What do we have? Documentation. Just now. There we go. Renovate.
That's actually waiting for a review. We can review it now. I think it's okay, but I'm not sure. By the way, this is, I changed, but it automatically updated. So that's not a trivial one. That's why I'm not sure.
What are you talking about? Oh, the 9.0 here, this year. Yeah, I know. Where did this one go? What's happening here? Where did this one go?
That's not it anymore because the 9.0 version of Serilog actually references that.
No, that's not good. You can't do that.
Why?
I don't think you can do that because it was an explicit package version, and because we have that central package primitive pinning enabled, it means if anything points to system text JSON, the fact that we have this line, we tell it we will use 9.0. Just because there is an 8.0.4. So yes, maybe Serilog will point to 9.0. But should we rely on that? Like if tomorrow they don't point to 9.0, then 9.0 in their 9.0 TFN, we will not have 9.0 anymore for our 9.0.
I don't know. I think we only had this because some dependencies used an earlier version and we explicitly wanted to have at least 9.0. I don't think we want to have exactly 9.0 because we are.
No, well, there is, well, today the only one on 9 is 9.0. So yeah, it's not exactly. So anything higher will work. So maybe this one will be, yeah, it will still point to 9.0 even if there was a higher. So I assume at some point we need to drop it. Okay, when nothing. So it's either when nothing is pointing to 9.0 and then you're right, or yeah, I believe it's, so if something points to 9.0, it will pick up 9.0. It won't complain. So we assume because we have that. Oh, by the way, when do we reference 9? Okay, wait. Something might be, so this is very important, that there is a distinction, very important. Okay, so good. Perfect. So here, something very important. I think, did I mention that before, why we have two sections here? Why we want to point to do two different things? We might not need that. Let me show you. Let me show you with Npgsql. I talked to Shai Rosinski yesterday, and he confirmed to me that Npgsql 901 was fixing it. So Npgsql is a good example. Look at that. Npgsql, they shipped 901. Do you see a 900? You don't see a 900 because it's a busted one. They fixed it in 901. And it is very interesting. So let's see if I can open 900. It's not listed, but it's probably still there. See, this package has been deprecated, it has critical bugs. If you look at the 900, you understand why I say that. The 900 version of Npgsql has a net 8 specific TFM, meaning if your application targets net 8, it will pick up these packages. If your application targets net 9, it will also pick up these packages. And they don't have a custom net 9 because they said, no, these are the same thing for net 8 and net 9. Okay? What you get if you target, if your application, if Orchard targets 9.0 and points to Npgsql 9.0, which are two different things. Okay, the TFM 9.0 and the version 9.0 of Npgsql, it just happens to be the same number, but they don't have to do anything. It just means that if Orchard targets 9.0, it will have a sysyntax.json version 9.0. If Orchard targets 8.0, it will use this same TFM, net 8.0, and then again, sysyntax.json 9.0. What's happening for us is we target 8 and 9 because we want to use .NET 8 as an LTS and .NET 9 as a non-LTS, STS. We want our users to be able to use dependencies from 8 because they have support with all the fixes. And if they choose to target 9, it's because they don't care about the long-term support. But if they choose 8, they care about the long-term support. With this version, if they choose to have the long-term support of .NET on 8, they would get the sysyntax.json 9.0, which means at some point, they would not get security fixes that will go in the 8.0 something version of sysyntax.json, but will not get into the 9.0 of sysyntax.json. Because if in 1 year 9.0 is deprecated, 8.0 won't be deprecated. If in 1 year there is a security fix in sysyntax.json, it will be done in the 8.0 version of sysyntax.json, but not in the 9.0. So if we used Npgsql 9.0 like this, we will be screwed because our .NET 8 will point to that. Okay? Now, if we look at the 9.01, now, so they fixed it by saying, now we don't add a dependency on sysyntax.json. And this way, they don't force us to use sysyntax.json 9 when we target the .NET 8. Okay, that's very important. So they remove completely, but what I would have expected to see if they really needed it was to see .NET 8 targets STJ 8, .NET 9 target STJ 9. So why do I say that? Is because here, where is it? we have 803 and 900. So let's look at the Serilog. If, like, is it required? Let's see. Sometimes it is required. So for instance, entity framework, that's another good example. So Npgsql, we can point now 02, either for .NET 8 or .NET 9. So for Npgsql, we would not need to have two different versions in the two target TFMs. Not this one, but here, this one here, yeah, this one and this one. So this one must be perfect. But if so, Npgsql is fine. It will have a single reference. But if I take entity framework, here, and I take the 90, the 90, it uses everything for 90. Okay. So, well, even if I target the .NET 8, if you target the .NET 8 and use the F-core, you will get all the 90 version. So it's lifting all these dependencies to the 90. And if I take the version 8 something, which also shipped a month ago, then you get 80 versions of the dependencies. So for EF, we would have to use different versions of EF to target 8 and to target 9, as opposed to Npgsql. Because EF will get is on the same support schedule as .NET, so they will update the 8.0 version when there is, like next year, when 9 is out of support, 9 of EF won't get any support, 8 will still get some support. So that's why we want to target the two things independently. Cool. And I was saying Serilog, let's see what they are doing. This is the one, versions. So they have the 90, they have the 8. So what does the 90 do? Dependencies. For .NET 8, they are pointing to the same versions. So it's almost like you are wondering why do they target the two of them. And it's hard to say here because we need to go deeper. Like, okay, so hosting is pointing to that, hosting. Okay, you see, there is an issue. So that's a good thing. So here, if we were pointing to the 90 of Serilog, for 8 and 9 TFN, we will get always the 90.NET extensions. So that's bad because we are targeting the .NET 8, but we are getting something that will be deprecated in a year. Okay, so this is good. So Zoltan, how did you do that? Why did you choose to do that thing?
How do we make sure to what?
To point to two different package versions of the same package. Did you do that or did Renovate do that?
I did that, yes. Okay. Renovate, unfortunately, is not clever enough, I think, to do this. So that's why we need to check this. Sometimes such manual intervention is necessary.
Well, that's why we have PR, and we need to accept or refuse or update the PR based on logic. But yeah, that's important to understand. So you understand that, and sometimes we can just point to the latest version here, okay, independently of the package. Sometimes we can't, and we should not. By the way, probably there are some packages like this that don't do that, but I'm wary when a package is called like 90, that is not the case. So even for the ones that were updated last week, we should check that when we update that they are supporting the .NET 8 and the .NET 9 independently, or we need to be careful with that, right? Because some package owners, they will just update everything to 9 without thinking about these implications. So
I just remembered one thing that I wanted to share before we wrap it up.
What?
Whenever you're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. I just wanted to share what I have done for the admin menu. Hopefully this recording, more people can see it and provide their opinion because nobody seems to care. Okay.
Oh, you're sharing. Okay.
Yeah, let me share my, so I've got some feedback and I updated. There's not a whole lot of feedback. So this is the most recent menu. Okay. As you can see, there's access control, which gives us now OpenID application scopes here, and then your roles and users. You have the tools, removed all the icons because before we had some had icons, some didn't have icons, it just didn't look good. So there was like more that didn't have icon than it did have an icon, so I just removed them. And then here under deployment, you have plans, import, export, all that stuff. And then you have in the media, all the media related, and then search engine optimization, which is the cache. So, and then we moved the workflow under tools, and then we also moved the audit trail under tools. So this way we can free up the top layer based on your feedback, Sebastian, I think that was. So it's less, correct, yeah. Yeah,
No,
because before it was on the, yeah, you did. Look at the recording. Evidence.
It's under design, because for me, workflow is design. Design is not just UI, it's like site design.
We could move it to design, but I think
the issue is, what do we mean by design? I don't mean the same as most people, I'm sure. So that's fine.
Yeah, that's true. True.
Like content type.
Design,
content type
it's like
me
appearance,
is like
maybe.
So it's what, yeah.
And then also the audit trail, it was also on the main route. We also shoved it inside tools just so we can free up some more from here.
Tools. I hate tools now. It's like the backlog of the features. Oh, let's put everything under tools.
Because audit, well, you specifically say it doesn't make sense to have the audit trail on the route.
Dude, I'm not saying that audit trail is not on the route. I'm saying I don't like to have these. Or I take everything else. The same way workflows should not be in tools, in my opinion. It should not be on the first level. It should be in design. You know, like, that's maybe audit trail should be under access control, something like that, because it's about understanding what happened on the site. Just maybe it's a different discussion than what you're trying to have here.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I can see why you want to put the workflow under design too. It makes sense because if you open this up, you know, we have themes, widgets, templates, yeah, like mainly UI stuff.
So I will give you a few examples of the things I think contribute to designing a site, like search queries, you know, SQL queries, missing queries, where you build something you can use as an API, workflows, content definitions, those things where you build the site. It's part of building the site. That's what I'm saying for me. Yeah. I like to have.
So you're saying that content definition, content definition should be part of design?
Something like that, yeah. Content definition. Content is just managing content, and content definition is defining content, like defining queries.
I like that. That I do like.
But defining for me is design, you know, like web. It's not in terms of UI design. It's in terms of architecture, design of the content, the site, and the behavior. That's why I see. That's how I see design. Even
yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I don't disagree.
It's my opinion, and maybe people have a different usage of that.
Someone from here to second that, I would move it because I agree with you. A third person will make me move it.
I disagree.
You disagree? There you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know I don't like the yes sayer all the time. No, like so that's good. No, you use it also. So.
And then inside setting, which is the most important thing, right? Because all the settings are now here. So I reorganized it based on what we spoke last time. I kind of tried to regroup them to make this top layer a little bit smaller so it's not so busy. So I moved things out of communication like email and SMS. And then other thing is I removed the icons. So each level either has icons or it has no icons. So here, there's no icons. This one has icons because all the sub items do have icons.
How do you do that? Did you just decide to remove the icons, or is there some code?
There's like, no, so there's like on the top layer, we had like couple had the icons. So because we had majority of them had no icon, I just removed it. And so we don't need that icon. If we need to have like icon here, we should have icon everywhere. I think it just makes more sense or looks better. And then inside integrations, I moved anything integration related, like Google Analytics, all these integration stuff. I put them on inside the integration tab. Localization is under our localization. search. So we have a couple of things under search. We have the site search, and then we have search engine optimization. And here we have robots. And then security. Security is a big one because we have authentications under there. We have HTTP. We have quite a bit of stuff under there. So as you can see, authentications. I added all the I think Microsoft Intro was the only one that had no icon. So I put the icon there, and now all these have icons. So I'm fine with this. So under authentication, and then here you have Open ID Connect. There's 3 items in here, and then anything else related like resetting password, registration, reverse proxy, security headers, all that security related stuff basically is here. And then last thing was everything else is the same. Is basically all the settings is all listed here. So I just kind of cleaned up this a little bit between removing some of the icons just so I can have a consistent look, and also regrouping. That's the main thing. So last thing I would say, we should put a cutoff date. If we don't hear back, we can just move forward. But hopefully, we can put this part of the newsletter that goes out, and hopefully more people can chime in and let us know their thoughts on the menu, and if they find a better way to organize the menu. But I think this is good. Another thing that Neeraj suggested at some point, we can make paid placement for these menu, so if someone decided they want to reorganize it in the future, well, they can just utilize placement and basically place whatever these items need to go, and then that's the way to go. So that's all I have. I just wanted to make sure more people can provide opinion if they see they have a better idea, or maybe a better way to reorganize things.
Thank you. Okay, so let's end the meeting there. And we'll see each other, everyone, on Thursday. Next time will be after Tuesday. There will soon be the Christmas break. So yeah. See you on Thursday. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you Thursday. Bye-bye.